Well, it's that time.
It's your plane crash anniversary.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Lost, Season 1, Episode
19. Deus Ex Machina.
Don't care for that.
No.
I don't like this episode. It's not really that it's a bad episode. It's a little bit, not quite heavy-handed, but
okay.
It's just sort of.
So it has a very not a 1-to-1, but that like Wattpad, like Harry Styles donates his heart to you energy at the end.
At the door, you see someone that you know and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
You know what I mean. Just, if you know, you know.
No, it's actually it's a fine episode. It just, I can't take Locke seriously, so what doesn't absolutely drive me insane plays for comedy.
Sure. Sure. He's also like, I guess it is in juxtaposition after like what he's like been through or whatever, but he's such a like easy mark at the beginning. Also, I love Terry O'Quinn so much, and I think he is a very handsome man. I think he's super attractive. They put so much makeup on him trying to make him look like he's like 34.
Got him. Yeah, you did. Good shot, son.
It is not cutting it.
It's like 42 at best.
He's like 40, the same age as the man that's supposed to be playing his father.
He's just tanner
know,
with like
so
a wig.
So tan and like a bad toupee. Oh, brother.
I wish that show, the 606 Park Ave, was better, because he was on it with Vanessa Williams. She was his like wife, and I actually thought they were good together.
That was right after this, right? It was like the following season. Yeah,
it was meant to recapture the American Horror Story Lightning, but it was like on NBC, so it was completely neutered.
Oh God, American Horror Story has been on for almost that long. Fuck me.
You were like, that can't possibly be true. I don't know. I mean, it's got Swoozy Kurtz mincing around a Kmart in a fur coat.
Why are you following him?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, and the guy who plays his dad, George O'Hanlon Jr. No, sorry, Kevin Tighe.
Real trustworthy face.
What are you doing this Sunday?
Nothing.
You want to go hunting?
Yeah, I'd like that very much.
He's been in so much stuff, and he's never trustworthy.
You can smell it a mile away.
A mile away.
It's just why? Like, I don't know. Why did they need to scam him? What is this insult to injury? Like, at a certain point, if I were Locke, I would be like, what am I putting out in the world?
Yeah, right.
that I'm attracting.
Well, at this point in his story, he hasn't yet fallen in love with the phone sex worker. But regardless, I like. The other thing, too, is that Swoozy Kurtz comes in at the end and, like, Bond villain monologues about, like, he said it was the only way.
You told me I didn't have a father.
Well, he said that was the only way you would give it to him. It had to be your idea. He told me where to find you. He asked me to go see you.
Your father told me that telling you were immaculately conceived was the only way that this would work. And I'm like, he was raised in foster care.
And now we wait.
He was raised in foster care. How does he even... Nobody would know anything about him.
He hires a detective to match fingerprints from his car or something to like a blood sample.
He picked hair out of her car.
Okay.
And then and then matched it to Locke's
And then they
DNA.
were able to find his
father,
dad,
yeah.
and then he sought him out. I don't know. It's very... The mousetrap analogy in
Was
the beginning
apt,
is
yeah.
apt. It is very...
I mean, because you're right, because the mousetrap analogy also follows through to, like, the trebuchet and, like, trying to get the hatch open and everything. I'm not saying it's rock solid. It's very clearly not. But it hangs together.
I purposely said it's not that it's a bad episode. I
Yeah.
just don't like it. I don't like... And I mean, they do a fine enough job earning Locke's character motivations, but it's like, I just don't like his fanaticism.
Yeah. Well, and also, it only gets worse from here on out because he believes that the reason his legs were stopping working is because he lost faith. So he is balls deep in it the rest of the show.
He's so obsessed with this vision and
Yeah.
everything, although he completely neglects to take on board that Boone is covered in blood in the vision.
Teresa falls up the stairs. Teresa falls down the stairs. Teresa falls up the stairs. Teresa falls down the stairs.
I think he takes it on board and he doesn't care.
Yeah, that's worse.
Of course it is. Yeah. I that's what I think.
So, do you want to? What do we need to? What are our talking points? What do we need to talk about?
So, least of which, Sawyer's having headaches, which I mentioned in the last episode. Turns out he is farsighted and he needs reading glasses. He's been reading a lot since they got to the island because it's like the only thing to do, and he's giving himself headaches. But not before Jack puts him through his embarrassing paces and asks if he's ever had sex with a prostitute and if he's ever had an STD. The answer to both is probably yes.
With Kate there.
With Kate sitting right there.
And have you ever contracted a sexually transmitted disease? I'm gonna take that as another yes. When was the last outbreak? Go to hell, Doc.
I know he deserved it, but
He needs glasses.
And Jack does the stand-up thing, and they make him, Saeed solders him together like two glasses because he has a different prescription on each side. I'm not saying it's important. I'm not saying it's
well, it's important in the sense that we need to see Sawyer be vulnerable.
We need to see Sawyer be vulnerable. Jack needs to see Sawyer be vulnerable, and Jack and Sawyer need to bury the hatchet a little, and they do. And Saeed to a lesser extent, because he doesn't have moments with him, but he does fix the glasses together for him.
And it's like, I love that little flourish that not only does Sawyer need Saeed's help, but he needs his help in a way that is craftsmanship.
Yeah.
In a way that involves...
He has also...
Because Saeed's tortured him, so we've done this sort of brute force, but then there's something sort of delicate and artistic. And
he's also rigged himself a really decent little setup. He's made a sort of soldering iron. I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. And I also... this is also not largely important to the overall plot of the show, but I do find it welcome in... what is akin to a post-apocalyptic kind of vibey show, that they have actually done so many positive things. They just have a box of glasses, presumably from the people who died on the plane. You never see shit like that when you definitely should. And so it's on the off chance that they could have easily thrown those glasses away thinking, well, those people are dead, they're not going to need them.
That's valuable. It's it was like me with the fuselage.
Agree.
I was strip it for parts.
Yeah.
Which they have. They were using it in the raft, and I forgot that I remembered that I liked the first draft better. I feel like the second draft isn't as good. And I don't remember if we said this, but Michael is helping Walt, or Jen is helping Michael
build
with the raft.
And he's picking up a little Korean, not idiot. And,
now an idiot. Yeah, Locke thinks he's losing his legs because he's lost faith, and so he takes Boone on this quest. And
he thinks he sees a plane fly through the jungle, and it turns out it was a dream. He had the dream, and Boone saying Teresa falls up the stairs, Teresa falls down the stairs, which we find out was about his nanny. don't want to say too much, but like,
Okay, that's fine.
it doesn't really matter.
So it turns out that there was like Nigerian priests / drug runners, and they found a whole bunch of like Virgin Mary statues
Full of heroin.
Yeah.
Inside that, they do find the plane, and all the Virgin Mary statues full of heroin are inside the plane. And because Boone is like, yeah, really great sign, dude. It's just drugs. Like, this is ridiculous.
Boone does have a bad attitude this whole episode, but rightfully so, I guess.
I think it's warranted because he asks Locke. They make a trebuchet, and it like when it hits the hatch, it breaks completely. And he's like, well, we'll just have to try something else. And Boone is like, well, what if that doesn't work? Are we just gonna keep doing this? What are we gonna do? And Locke says, the island will tell us what to do. And Boone is like, I beg your pardon?
Okay.
And so he is sort of like out of it at that point.
I've made a huge mistake.
He really is like, I made a huge mistake. And then Locke pulls him out of camp at the ass crack of dawn, and they go looking for this plane. And they do bond a little bit again because Boone tells him about Teresa, because that's how he gets Boone to go, because he like says what he heard him say in the dream. She was his nanny, and she like broke her neck falling down the stairs. Like I said, it just ends up amounting to nothing. So I'm just like sort of frustrated about it.
So while Boone was up in the plane, he was able to radio someone.
Yeah.
And he told them that they were survivors of Flight 815, and the person said that everyone from 815
there are
died.
no survivors, yeah.
I can't remember if anything comes of that. I think something does, but I think it's underwhelming. Something does. Oh.
Yeah.
Locke lugs Boone's.
Oh, the plane falls from where it is on the cliff, and Boone is still inside, and he gets pretty smushed.
Injured. So he like lugs his body back, drops him off, and heads back to go pound on the hatch door, which again rewards him by
a light comes on,
turning a light on, and so
that is honest to God mostly it in this episode. There's like no other real side stuff in this one.
I just don't like it. I don't know why his dad couldn't just be friends with him.
Oh, well, so we didn't actually follow through on that. Like, his dad basically, he found his dad, and then it turns out it accidentally stumbled in on him getting dialysis because he needs a kidney transplant. And so obviously Locke volunteered. Somehow it would only work if he volunteered it. I don't know. Have you tried asking? Like, maybe try asking. Yeah, pay him.
Well, I don't know. Locke's the kind of person that wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, he wakes up in the hospital alone because his dad has been taken home for home care, and he won't let him in the house.
I just like that it's so immediate.
Yeah.
Like, I could totally believe that his dad might have suckered him into it, but just sort of like gradually.
Just ghost him after.
Yeah.
Like.
But like optimal insult to injury.
Yeah.
Like maximum.
And he's like still bleeding.
Punch to the kidney.
From his wound and everything. And.
To the non-existent kidney.
If I've learned one thing from watching Steel Magnolias like 40 times in my childhood, it's that it's way worse for the person donating the kidney. The like procedure is aggressively worse. So super mean. I don't know. Not a fan. It is really weird. He won't let him in the house. He won't let him in the gate. The poor like gate guy is like, I'm really sorry. He'll lose my job. And we do get follow-ups with that later. I feel like I remember he tries to sue him or something.
Maybe.
That sounds right.
Because what happens when he needs like a blood transfusion or something next? And it's like, well, I don't know. Sorry if that was your favorite episode, because it's probably not your favorite episode of our coverage, but I just don't care.
No, it's like mostly whatever. The Locke episodes are, if your favorite are Locke episodes, you're not going to want to keep watching us because our favorites are not Locke episodes. But that being said, this is one of the better Locke episodes for me.
Sure.
Like, it's not as offensive as some, except for the fact that Boone is mortally wounded now. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that was Deus Ex Machina.
Boop, 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 boop.